In this lesson, we are going to create our very first React project using a library called Create React App. It's being developed by Facebook team to help us get a head start to React with zero configuration and setup. Before we delve into the details of Create React App, first thing I'm going to do is to head over to my terminal on Mac. If you are on Windows, then you would open either git bash or command prompt. You have to make sure that npm, which is Node Package Manager, is successfully installed on your system. To cross-check this, I'm going to type the command npm-v, which shows me some version of npm if you have it already. It shows me 3.10.10th version of npm is already installed. Otherwise, it will throw us some output saying command npm is not found. I'm gonna use this npm to install Create React App tool globally on my system. I'm gonna type npm install and pass -c flag to tell npm that I want to install it globally, and finally the name of the package, which is Create React App, and hit enter. It may take some time depending on your internet speed. If you also get the same error, like npm want check permissions, then we are missing permissions here. So just add sudo in front of our previous command and run it again. It may ask for password. Just enter your machine's password. I'm gonna enter mine. This time it should work fine. Okay, it's been successfully installed. Now that we have Create React App installed, we will use it to create our first React project or application. I'm gonna type Create React App and our project directory name, which I'm going to give it as intro app. Could not create a project called intro app. Name can no longer contain capital letters. Okay, let's give our project directory name in small. So I'm gonna give my project directory name as intro_app like this and hit enter. Installing packages, this might take a couple of minutes. Create React App downloads a bunch of React scripts that includes several configuration files required to create a React project. Depending on your internet speed, it's going to take a while before it's completed. So don't worry about it taking some time. Okay, why Create React App? The reason is, it allows us to directly jump into React without having to learn any tooling and setup at the beginning itself. It's a kind of boon to the beginners who wants to have a head start with React. With the help of it, we can directly start writing React code without having to know what's going on behind the scenes. We really don't have to worry about code transpiling or bundling or creating our own web server. Create React App will do that automatically for us, so that we can completely concentrate on understanding the React concepts first. I feel like doing a lot of setup and tooling at the beginning of the course takes a lot of time, especially with React, and takes away our interest if we just want to start with React. So we are kind of taking a head start here. Don't get me wrong, I strongly feel that going through the setup process is very important and it teaches us many things. This is something we are definitely going to do in the later sections of this course. We are going to build our own React boilerplate project with Webpack 2 and understand how all the pieces of it fit together. But before we do that, let's first have a little bit of better understanding with React, what it brings to the table and how to use it. Okay, Create React App successfully installed our projects directory and it confirmed me the same with the message over here. We can also notice that Create React App comes pre-installed with some npm commands, which we can run inside our projects directory. First one is npm start, which starts the development server, and then npm run build, which bundles our application for production, and there are a couple of them more, which we won't be requiring at this point. Create React App also have some suggestions on how to proceed from here. It's asking us to navigate into our projects directory by typing cd intro app and then running npm start. This command npm start will kickstart our build server. It compiles our application code, bundles it up, and launches it on the web page over the browser on localhost with default port 3000. Okay, let's try running our npm start command on a new tab inside our terminal, since this npm start is going to trigger the build process, which will be running continuously in the background. I'm gonna open the new tab and I'm gonna head over into my projects directory by typing cd intro app. Let's zoom it for a while. Okay, and I'm gonna run the command npm start. For Mac users, it will launch our application directly on the web page on localhost 3000. But for Windows users, you may not get it launched automatically. In that case, just open your browser and run the URL http://localhost:3000. On a side note, If some application is already running on our port 3000, then the build process tries to take permission from us to run it on a different port. So it asks us to enter the key Y, which signifies yes to run the application on another port, and you may do the same in that case. Okay, here is our intro app up and running with some default code injected into it by Create React App. Let's start experimenting the code for a while. Don't worry, we'll be starting our application from scratch. This is just to let us know what Create React App offers us. One thing we will notice here on the output, it's telling us to get started, edit our app.js file inside src folder in our intro app project and save it to reload our application on the web browser. Let's go ahead and do that first. I'm gonna head over to my terminal and open my project inside Atom Editor. To do that, I'm gonna enter into my project directory by typing cd intro app and run the command atom dot, which opens my intro app project inside Atom Editor. Let's open app.js file inside src folder and try to edit some content over there. I'm gonna edit this h2 heading, which contains welcome to React, and I'm gonna update it to welcome to learn and understand React and Redux, and save it. As soon as I save it, our Create React app is going to rebuild our application and will refresh our page on the web browser to reflect the changes that we just made. Let's check it. I'm gonna flip over to my browser, and there we go. We got our updated heading displayed over the page. Welcome to learn and understand React and Redux. I didn't do any refresh here. Create React app does it for us. This automatic reload is going to save a lot of development time and provide better development experience, because every time we make changes, we will be able to see the changes reflected immediately over our web page. One last thing, apart from automated build and page refresh, I want to show you that if you do any mistakes like some syntax error in the code, then the error message is directly reflected on the web page by Create React app, and it is much more convenient to identify errors like this. Let's try it. We'll go ahead and make some breaking changes in our app.js file. Let's comment out our first line here. This is a much needed one, and it should be an error without this line. Let's just save it and head over to our browser. Sure enough, we get to see some friendly and easily recognizable error message on our browser window itself. Error component is not defined. We also get the error message on our console. I'm going to open my console by pressing Command Alt J on my Mac. Error component is not defined. We can also get to see the same error on our build process terminal. So let's check it once. Error component is not defined. But it is much handy to see the error message on our web page directly. Okay, let's just uncomment the code that we commented out earlier, and let's just save it, and everything should run fine now. Let's head over to our browser. Okay, our page got automatically refreshed and displayed the same UI as it used to previously. Not only error messages, we also get to see some friendly warnings on the terminal and console when we violate some standard rules that Create React app sets for us, like defining a variable and not using it anywhere in the code. It's a warning. Let's check that. Let's head over to our Atom Editor. I'm gonna define some variable over here by name var test warning and assign it to some value 10. And I'm not gonna use it anywhere in my code. Let's save it, head back to our browser. Our app still runs fine, but there on the console, we can get to see the warning. Test warning is assigned a value but never used. We can see the same warning on our build server process also. Test warning is assigned a value but never used. So these pieces of information comes handy to improve our development experience. Okay, remove the unused variable. Let's save it and head back to our browser. Now our build server and console should be clean with no errors or warnings. Perfect. These are not the only things that Create React app can do us. There are much more which we won't be requiring at this point. We will explore more about Create React app as we progress through the course. Okay, in the next lesson, we are going to start writing our first React app from scratch.